Welcome, 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 everybody, to the Women's Empower Network. And we have another great interview in store for you today. And I can't wait to get started and meet Ellie. Now, Ellie, I understand that you are a book coach. What's your story? How did that come about?
Oh my gosh, how did it come about? That's well, I've always written. I've always been kind of a writer, and I've worked as an editor for book publishers, and I've written my own stuff. And during the pandemic, I started ghostwriting books for celebrities, and I became a celebrity ghostwriter, which was a lot of fun and gave me a lot of work to do when I was at home. And last year I had two books come out that I worked on, and I'll show them to you. I have Kristen Butler's book, The Comfort Zone, which is a fantastic book, and then the David Zucker, Jerry Zucker, and Jim Abrams book about the making of the movie Airplane, which is an incredible book. Pick it up. If you're an airplane fan, you need this book in your life. And so these two books came out last year in 2023. And the process of working with these authors is so intense, and the runway to getting these books completed and published, and then working with the publishers, in the editing phase and in the design phase, it is such an intense process that I just did not want to take on more of that intensity level. So then I also noticed that a lot of people in my life were sending me their people who were trying to write books and could not figure out how to get started or how to flesh out their ideas, how to break through writer's block and all of those things. And I was already spending a lot of time coaching people on how to write their books. So at that point, I made the decision, I'm only going to take on very special ghostwriting projects. And with the opening that's created in my schedule, I'm going to help as many people as I can write and publish their books. I have a methodology. Writer's block does not exist for us. So when my clients work with me, their lives literally change. We find their book, we write their book, all within 6 to 12 months.
That's so beautiful. Now, besides you helping everybody else, you've done a couple of your own, right?
I have, yes. And this all happened, my books came out before these other books. So this is from like 2019. I have a novel called The 13th Planet, which is about the awakening of our planet. It's science fiction, but takes place in present day. And I have an oracle deck called Your Heart Knows the Way, which is inspired by the Rumi quote that says, "Your task is not to seek for love, but to seek and remove the barriers against it." So there's 52 cards in this. Everyone speaks to a barrier. So something we're doing in the moment that's keeping the heart space closed off. I love spiritual stuff and science fiction and fantasy. And when I write for myself, those are the themes that I tend to gravitate towards.
So when did you discover this innate gift of yours to tap into something other than your personality?
Uh, you know, it's interesting with gifts that are really innate to us. We don't see them. We don't see them. And it takes other people sometimes seeking out our gift and noticing our gifts for us to acknowledge that there's something special that I can do that maybe most people can't. When I was growing up, I never thought I could be a writer because writing was so easy for me. And meanwhile, I'm winning writing competitions. I'm constantly writing stories. I'm constantly, helping other people with their writing. But I never thought I could be a writer because why would someone pay me to do something that everyone likes to do, right? I thought I like it, so everybody likes it. I'm good at it, so everybody must be good at it. It's such a strange way of seeing the world when you're really good at something. I discovered that when I discovered that I have this gift of bringing clarity to projects, and I can do that with my own projects, but really I can do it for other people, and it's such a powerful thing. And I never thought this could be an asset to anybody else until, people started showing up at my doorstep saying, "Oh, how did you do that?" And I'm explaining to them and guiding them through the processes that I developed for myself to, counter writer's block and be able to tap into inspiration and clarity. So all of these processes I developed for myself so I can be consistent with writing. I start doing it for other people, and suddenly their projects open up. A lot of times people come to me that, they're in like this tightly woven ball of just the ideas that are so tangled, they don't know where to start, right? And within just an hour of sitting together, their project just goes, and they can see all the different pieces, and now we can find the themes and discover what is exciting to them. And it's not very uncommon where someone is in that space for like a decade, and then they come to me, and within a few months, not only do they have an outline for a book, but their entire business changes because now there's so much clarity that they go back and redo all the verbiage on their website because now they understand what they do and what their methodology is. The way they communicate with their clients is now different. It's a lot more clear, and it's a lot more to the point, and it's a lot more powerful because they understand finally what the true value is that they provide to their clients. It's a very, very powerful thing that takes place when we start to unravel all of those strands, all of those ideas, all of the ball of just years and years of thought that they have been holding on to.
When you had your hands in the fist like this, I was thinking of, we were talking before we came on live about flow,
Yes.
and we have all these
Yeah.
stories and all these blockages that are hindering the flow. And then it
Yeah.
sounds like you have this gift, this ability to help people to remove whatever blocks there are in the way, and then allow that flow that we all innately have, I think. We just either we're just not aware of it, or like you said, when you were younger, it's like, oh, well, everybody's like this, this must come easy, this is not a big deal, you
Right.
know and so I would encourage people who think, if you have something that you think is not a big deal, like drawing, painting,
Yeah.
whatever it is, reading tarot cards, you might do it for fun with your friends, but that may be a gift that you could
Yeah.
share. So, thank you for opening up this channel of ideas, and you following, and being shown that you have a special gift to help other people let their gifts shine, or tell the story about their gifts.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's essentially what I do is I'm a flashlight, and my one client called me an author whisperer, another one another one said, "Ellie, you're like the sun. You come and you just shine this light, and then all of a sudden things can grow and things can, be visible." And what I do is I come into your kitchen, you're trying to make a cake, and you're like, "I don't have any of the ingredients." And I'll say, "Oh, did you look in that cupboard? Did you look in that drawer?" And we discover all of the ingredients and all the pieces in your kitchen, and then you bake the cake and you're empowered and you didn't even know that all the pieces are right there, because you're absolutely right that we all have all of the pieces that we need within ourselves right now. There's nothing else that you need to learn, no classes you need to take, no, like nothing else you need to acquire, nothing else you need to buy. Everything that you need is already right there. All your knowledge, all your experience, all your stories, all the, your methodology, all of the clarity, all of it is right there. It's just a matter of looking for it where it is and discovering it. And it's such an empowering experience to realize that I am already whole. What I need, I already have. And what I'm trying to create in the world is already mine, and it's my birthright. And I have all of the tools within myself in this moment to receive all of that which I want. It's so empowering. It's such an incredible moment that I witness with my clients, and it opens up the entire world. It opens up an entire world of possibility.
You're speaking to my heart. I am loving this so much.
I am having so much fun.
And the other thing I want to share and to point out, and what makes what you do such a gift is I suffered for years trying to be a solopreneur. And
Yes.
even though I had my gift, we still need each other to support us in those areas that maybe we're not really strong in, and as we lift one person up, we lift everybody up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that you do what you do. And I know there's a lot of women out there who've got a book inside of them, just
Yeah.
just waiting for the right person at the right time. And this may be it.
Yeah. The thing is, um, I believe that stories are uh they're a necessity. They're not a luxury, right? We need food to survive. We need water to survive. We need air to survive. But I believe that we need stories even more than all of our physical necessities. And I'll tell you why I believe this. Because you can put a human being in incredibly adverse situations. You can put the book by Viktor Frankl,
I knew
right?
that's where you were going.
Yeah, right. So he's in concentration camps where people are dying every day. There's starvation, there is overwork, there's the circumstances under which they are living is so horrendous. What is keeping the survivors alive? We can be deprived of food, of water, of the things, of what we think is necessary for us. Two people can be deprived of those essentials. One will survive longer than the other. What keeps that person alive longer than the other is the stories they're telling to themselves inside of their minds. Stories have the power of keeping us alive under incredibly adverse situations, and they have the power to kill us when we are even in idyllic situations, right? A child who is deprived of love and connection will die of no particular symptoms at all. Because the story is that I am unlovable, I am nobody wants me, and therefore I'm going to check out of this physical form. Right? So stories have the power to keep us alive. They have the power to kill us. And our external circumstances are not anywhere near as powerful as the stories we are telling to ourselves. It doesn't matter what's happening in the world. The entertainment industry, the book industry will always thrive. Why? Because innately, as human beings, we need stories to survive. We need stories to feed our souls. So, yes, every person has stories, and it is imperative, it's vital to share your stories, especially if you're a coach, if you're someone who is providing guidance to other people. You got to discover your stories. You got to discover the stories that are unique to you. You got to find ways to communicate your personal story in ways that resonate with people, that help guide people, right? This is very important work. This isn't just oh, it's secondary to what I do. This should be, telling your story should be the first thing you do, right? Discovering what your story is should be the first thing you do, because your clients are going to find you because of your story. They're going to connect with you through your story, and you're going to impact their life and the transformation within them with your stories. It's so important, and it's so powerful. And I'm so passionate about it because I do believe that we need stories. We absolutely need stories to survive.
Well, I can just feel your passion, and it's so important. And by telling our stories, we can not only transform our
Yeah.
other people's lives, we can transform our own, and we get to
Yeah.
write the ending.
Yes. Yeah.
So what would be
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
going to see? So what are some parting words of wisdom that you've shared so much already, but anything else that comes to mind that you would like to share?
Uh, I'll share something about the writing process in general, because if you are watching this and you're interested in writing your book, it's very something that's helped me and something that helps my clients is to understand the role of a writer, right? The job description of a writer. To be a writer is to be confused 90% of the time. And it's important to understand that, because if you're confused, if you're overwhelmed, if you're scared, like if you're feeling all of these negative emotions associated with writing and sharing your story, you are not alone. Professional writers are confused 90% of the time. It is literally our job description, because anytime you're telling a story, anytime you're writing a story, especially with a book that is so long, right? There are a bazillion, technical number there, there are a bazillion decisions that need to be made. And all of those decisions create a level of confusion. So if you're confused, congratulations, good job. You are in the writer's camp, right? So how do we break through that confusion? Because once you know that your job description as a writer is to be confused 90% of the time, then we got to create a system, set up a system that works with that confusion and not against it, right? So sitting down and saying, I'm going to write a book from start to finish does not work, because that's not working with the confusion. You're going to be confused every single day that you sit down and do that, and it's going to be extremely frustrating. So you got to create kind of platforms to ease your way into, right? So what I do with my clients, number one thing is you lock that editor inside your head into a closet. Okay, so number one thing, editor is gone. We don't need his judgment or her judgment at all, right? Number two, I break the writing down into phases. And the first phase of writing is the extraction of ideas. So create a document for yourself. I do this when I'm ghostwriting for a client. I do this when I'm working with clients. I create a document that is organized, but not as a book. What do I mean by that? It's organized because we'll have title ideas, book theme ideas, stories. We'll have sections for everything, research, images I want to include. So now the work becomes dumping everything that you absolutely want to talk about into this document. It balloons into the 70, 80 page document that is everything you are holding on like this, opened up and in one place. Once you have that, then you can go into phase two, which is to create your outline. Because without dumping everything onto the page, here's the thing, like painter who wants to paint needs paint to put on a palette and then can pick it up and put it on the canvas. A sculptor who wants to create a sculpture needs clay. So he dumps the clay and then starts molding it. A writer needs words. So your first phase one is dumping all of the words. You're literally creating your paint. And then in phase two, you can look at all of that paint and say, you know what? Now I understand what my book is about. This is what it's about. This is the outline of it. So you create the clothing line, which is the outline, and then you go into that 70-page document and literally distribute it into the different chapters, right? So now when you go to phase three to write your book, it's easy. You start with chapter one, you already have 5 pages of notes. The writing just happens. The book just literally writes itself. So it's a very easy process. Feel free to use it and let me know how it goes. If you need support using it, or if you need someone to work with you on it, I'm available as a resource. But get your book written, get your stories and your ideas out into the world. It's imperative.
Thank you so much. It's so informative, and do it now. Don't wait till someday when. Just like she said, follow her process, and we'll put in the comments and also in above the interview the link so that you can get a hold of her and get in touch with Ellie. Well,
Yeah.
Ellie, you're such a beautiful spirit. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. I love being part of your network. Thank you for creating this space for women who support each other. And really, we need female leadership in the world. We need mindful, heart-centered leadership in the world. And thank you for being a leader, such a leader, and creating a space for women to connect and empower each other.
Thank you so much, Ellie. And we'll see you next time.
Yes.